And I always say that it's really simple and easy to see how disconnected one is, if you're wondering for yourself. Go into nature that is one with itself, right? By yourself, and sit in a little wild place, a little more wild than a park, if possible. And see how comfortable and connected you feel. Are you one with? And if you're not, you can just feel into where the division lies between yourself and the natural world, which is undivided. Just feel, see if you can sense, and ask for help to help thin that veil of separation. Have an intention to want that to be erased, that subject object to disappear into non-dual understanding, undivided understanding. So that's your teacher then, you know? And we can become, and we are one already with her, with that, but then we can know it consciously, not have it be in a forgotten place inside, forgotten to itself. And that's the spiritual journey, is remembering. And it's better to not make it a big fat deal. And if you do remember, and they call it awakening or whatever, that, by the way, should be a verb, you know, ongoing. You can have a little, you know, celebration party for yourself, but then move on, because you don't want to land anywhere. It continues. Understanding and remembering continues to deepen. And that's why someone who's already far along in the remembering path or whatever, if someone comes to them and says, look at, you know, this is what I know now, and there's a little, you know, inner party. It happened to me too, by the way. Very humbling, coming to some really advanced teachers, you know, I suppose. They didn't have to be a teacher, it could just be a being, a person. It's nice to have a person, remember, you know, in your midst somewhere along the line that knows that they're one with as that. Because it's good to have nature be our model, but then we need human beings to be our model, right? Because we need to know that this is possible here, right? Well, anyway, so usually that kind of person or being or whatever you want to call them, we'll just call them a person. We'll be like, that's nice. So where are you now? You know, really, truly, it's not a dismissal. It's not like you haven't gotten somewhere, you know, what you're bringing to them, but they know it's just ongoing. You know, like when a child takes their first step, a baby, it's really exciting for the parents and the ones that love this baby and the baby. So exciting, right? But there's so much more, right? You know that there's going to be running that's going to take place. There's going to be a million things. It's just this beginning. I remember one time someone said to me, oh, well, that's like the first step. That's the beginning. And I was a little bit, you know, like, screw you. This is big. But now I know what they mean, but not as a dismissal. You know, the first level of understanding might be, let's just make something up here real quick. Oh, let me just see, so it can be as honest as possible in the moment. That there's no center to me. I can't find it. When I really look, I really can't find a center to me. It feels like there's a me, but when I really explore and look truthfully, not from what I've heard, but when I really go in and I swim around in there, which takes attention and willingness and focus, no small thing upon itself, I can't really find that there's a center here that feels like a me. Isn't that interesting? The nucleus is empty. An empty nucleus. Around the edges of the nucleus feels like a me. And I acknowledge that. I'm okay with that. But within, in the center, that's the first step. Okay? In case you're wondering. And then that becomes more solid in its understanding. Like it's a first little insight. It's satori, you know? Oh my God, a little flash of insight. There's no me here. And then that grows, that understanding. It's not a manufactured understanding. It's a real understanding. There's no me to consciousness, you know? And that grows through letting go. So that all the things that have believed in that me can be dismantled organically. You don't have to do anything. It does itself. The dismantling process does itself. You just go along with it. And if whenever you find yourself stopped inside, you look, you don't make it wrong. Like, what is it that's happening inside that's afraid of letting go? And you bring some compassion and kindness to it. That's the medicine. Compassion and kindness to fear of letting go, right? Because you can't force it. Like, of course, there's a little fear here. It's understandable. But I'm going to let go anyway. Yeah, you don't want to turn it into a thing. I have to do a ton of work on myself before I let go. Maybe here and there, but don't turn yourself into a project. An object to yourself is a project, right? So yeah, it's a compassionate thing to do some help, get help and work along the way. I'm not one of those people that says you don't need any of that, because that's not true. It may not be true. I got lots of help along the way. The right medicine at the right time is invaluable. But still, don't make a project of yourself, because then you're continuing identity. There's a me here that is an unfinished ongoing project. In order to let go, I have to complete the project. Have the project be these platforms of places you're landing in space. Maybe here needs some help. You're here, but around, in between, is all this space, nothingness. And then the goal is, of course, to be able to let go and to relax. Does that make sense? Yeah. So don't get caught in the loop of project. ongoing work on oneself. If you do it, that's fine on some level, but have it be very holy. You're a holy project. A project with a lot of holes, but with nothing in there. Okay? And the holes are the space that's opening up. And you want to value that which is open and free and not make wrong what isn't. It's very simple. That's also non-duality, by the way, where you don't make something wrong and you acknowledge the very human component, the human element of this whole story, that we are conditioned, and quite a bit of that conditioning, let's say some, let's just make it little, just to make the brain relax. How about a little bit of that conditioning is troubled. And needs some help and love. Reverse it. Instead of a lot of my conditioned self is a problem. Just a little bit of it in the vast scheme of space. It's just a little problem. And it wants help. Problems just want help, right? They're not wrong. They just need help. Right medicine. Love, usually. What's the right medicine? Love. Right? Understanding and love, the two wings of a right medicine bird.